You should have been learned from earlier experiences that you shouldn't have been involved with guns at all. You shouldn't have had a gun.
An Indianapolis man headed to prison tonight because children found his loaded gun. And in the end, a 4-year-old little girl was shot and killed. Rich Knight takes us into the courtroom tonight where we learned about the father's history of gun violence when he was just a boy himself.
Under a plea agreement, 27-year-old Terrell Jackson pled guilty to neglect of a dependent resulting in serious injury. In July 2023, 4 children, all age 6 and younger, found Jackson's loaded gun in a dresser drawer inside this Cumberland apartment. A 6-year-old accidentally shot and killed his 4-year-old sister, Diornita. Jackson was the boyfriend of the children's mother.
I understand I need to be held accountable, but I want the chance to continue working, supporting my children, and becoming a better man. I just ask that you take it lightly on me, Your Honor, and see me as a person who just made a mistake and not what I'm being labeled as.
What I first learned at this sentencing is that Jackson has a long juvenile criminal history. He was first arrested at age 11, and when he was 15, he was found responsible for a gang murder.
The ESG is the East Side Gangsters, and then the other opposing game is the DES, the Drop 'em Squad. But essentially that the victim had sold a handgun to the ESG and it didn't work. So again, that is what Mr. Jackson said was the motive for shooting this juvenile in cold blood in the middle of the street.
Jackson went to juvenile detention but aged out when he turned 21. 2 years later, Dior was killed with his gun.
It's not something that we can just look at a death and say, let's forget that. We can go on. It's tragic. I'll learn from it. I'm going to be remorseful for the rest of my life. That's all true. There has to be a significant punishment element to that before this will stop.
The judge sentenced Jackson to 7 years in prison plus 2 years home detention. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
Jackson was not at the apartment at the time of the shooting. A great-grandmother was there watching 5 children, and she was changing an infant's diaper downstairs when the gun went off upstairs. We've been following several cases right here in Marion County involving the death of children who got a hold of guns. And here's an update. A trial right now is scheduled for later this summer in the death of this little guy. This is 2-year-old Javarius Bickett. He died last June. Investigators say that he found a loaded gun in his mom's purse and then accidentally shot himself in a parking lot. His mother, Kiara Bickett, is charged with neglect of a dependent, resulting in death. And tonight, an Indianapolis man is headed to prison for killing his neighbor on the east side of Indianapolis. A judge today sentencing Zachariah Meehan to 75 years in prison for killing Thomas Bauman. Court records reveal that officers responded to a call of a person shot near Emerson and Brookville Road in March of 23. They found Bauman shot in the front yard there, and he later died at the hospital. Meehan later told police that the two of them got into a fight, and he thought he saw Bauman reach for a weapon before shooting him. And tonight, 2 southern Indiana men are facing charges after a drug bust that occurred up in Hamilton County. Ashton Hackman now shows us what investigators uncovered there and how police in central Indiana connected the case.
211 pounds of weed, 5 pounds in rolled joints, and nearly 4,000 THC carts. This is what Fishers police say they uncovered last week following a drug investigation. Court docs say a detective started digging deeper in March, monitoring an account on Snapchat advertising marijuana and THC products. Several of the posts from Indiana PACs reportedly showed large amounts of cash, marijuana, and THC products, and a truck police say that was tied to the drug activity. License plate readers were used to locate the vehicle in the posts. Police say detectives later stopped the truck on Interstate 69 in Hamilton County. A canine reportedly alerted to drugs inside the truck. A search uncovered what police say they were searching for. Police arrested 23-year-old Brendan Grubb and 26-year-old Ian Heath. Both are now charged with felony dealing marijuana and possession of marijuana.
Marijuana remains illegal in the state of Indiana, and these are Hamilton County. We take that seriously, and we continue to investigate these crimes and prosecute them.
In Fishers, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
It's It's now 6:04 and we want to show you a live look outside right now. It's 61 degrees. It feels pretty cool if you're not in the sun. Angela's here with what we can expect moving forward. Do want to let you know that Scott Swan is on assignment tonight, but he will be back here at 11.
Yeah, we're not going to make you stay that late.
Thank you. And I thank you.
Yes, it definitely was one of those days. In the sunshine, short sleeves, in the shade, long sleeves or a jacket, and that will be the case over the next couple of days as well. We'll take you south into Bloomington in Monroe County, where we have a few fair weather clouds over the IU campus. Temperatures right now in Bloomington in the mid-60s. We have 65. This was one of a couple of locations still close to 70 this afternoon. Everybody else was stuck in the 60s. We're already down into the 50s in a few locations, including Kokomo and Muncie at 59, Richmond at 57. We currently have 62 degrees in Crawfordsville. Temperatures down 10 to 15 from this time yesterday. 13 colder in Indianapolis, down 14 in Shelbyville, and down 16 degrees in Richmond. Evening temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Once the sun goes down, we're going to start to clear it out. The winds will start to diminish, but that's the recipe for a chilly night. Chilly start tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Nothing weather-wise to slow us down. And then lots of sunshine, highs tomorrow, 65 to 70.
All right, Angela, thank you so much. Well, tonight, Indiana Governor Mike Braun is responding to reports that the federal government owes Indiana millions of dollars for housing ICE detainees. Yesterday, the Indiana Department of Correction told us there is no unexpected delay in payments. But a report obtained by our partners at the Capitol Chronicle show that the state spent $12.5 million housing detainees since the agreement took effect last October. And that same report shows the state so far has received only about $5 million in payments from ICE. Here's what the governor had to say about that today.
There's no issue there. It's been working smoothly, and we are a state that's in good shape financially, and I think that's an important function occurring there, and don't have any real concern that it's going to turn into something beyond that.
Both the governor and IDOC tell us that they are working on streamlining the payment process and expect the payments to take about 90 days to process moving forward. State lawmakers now are preparing to learn more about the impacts of allowing high school athletes to make money off their name and their fame. A summer committee study this year will examine the potential impacts of the name, image, and likeness policy that was passed just last month. So the committee will do this will include former students, coaches, ADs, and parents. The committee also plans to hold public hearings with dates to be announced. We'll keep you updated. Angela?
Anne-Marie, 60s today, tomorrow, and Friday, but there are 80s in the 7-day. I'll have a look ahead.
Day 2 of Indy 500 practice just wrapped up. Still ahead, we're going to take you out to the track for a look at all the action out there today. Plus, preventative health care, the additional benefit that you may qualify for and know nothing about.